As you know, Messi went over to MLS to play soccer, to continue his career there. There's all different kinds of offers out there, right? He could have played anywhere in the world, and he went to the MLS to play in Miami. And the reason I'm bringing this up, you're like, Neal, some people don't, some soccer fans don't take MLS serious. They don't think it's very competitive, all those kind of things, right? And there's a lot of money being thrown around in other places of the world that a lot of players are going to, especially late in their career, that they take it more seriously at that point. But again, MLS, not taking it seriously. The competition just isn't as good as other places in the world, of course. However, this Messi thing is interesting, and this is what I want to talk about. Let me just bring up, I have a bunch of tweets to look at, a bunch of stats to look at. I just find it interesting. I want to end it with a question at the end, of course. But let's go ahead and just bring this up. I want to show you this. So this tweet here from MLS says again and again and again, 6 games, 6 wins, 9 goals. Messi's latest star showing in League Cup action. 6 games. In 6 games, he's won all 6 games, and he has 9 goals. Again, you can hit me with the MLS competition isn't that good. It's not that serious of a league. It's not that competitive. I really don't care, to be honest with you. I think this is impressive to just walk onto a team, walk into a new league, walk into a new country, and do stuff like this is impressive to me, no matter how you slice it. So this just kind of adds on to the Messi, allure, the legend of Messi. This kind of stuff is great to me. I love this stuff. And trust me, it's all going to build up to a question here at the end. Next one. Look at this angle. What? Look at this angle of the Leo Messi goal, out of this world. So check this out really quick. We're going to do this with no audio. Check this out. Ridiculous. That was ridiculous. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You can't just write off that kind of stuff. You can't write off that kind of goal. I don't really care who the competition is. You can't just ignore these kind of things as if they don't matter. That was very impressive. Now, again, some more details here. Inter Miami, they are going to the League Cup final. Messi can win his first trophy in his 7th game at the club. Messi can win a trophy for the League Cup in his 7th game. Mind you, this was not a very good team before Messi joined them. Again, you can say the competition isn't great, but he went on to a bad team and is now in the League Cup in his 7th game. You can't ignore it. You just can't ignore it. And to add on to the fact that I said they're a bad team, 22 goals in 22 MLS matches before Messi, 21 goals in 6 matches after Messi. This is called influence. This tweeter says, not Saudi money. They say the Saudi thing because Saudis are throwing money everywhere in all different sports, especially in soccer. And, some people don't like to see it, right? And some people don't, it's not like to be Saudi necessarily. Some people just don't like the guys who go for the money grabs. It is what it is, right? Like some people just, for the love of the sport, right? The pure aspect of it, the pure love of the sport. The money, obviously, Messi has enough of it. Messi has all of it. It's not like Miami's paying him nothing. But some people just don't like the idea of people throwing money around and players just going to end their careers in other places. He sort of did that. It's America. It's, U.S. soccer. So people are going to kind of relate the two and say, MLS isn't as competitive as a Saudi league, these different things. But again, when you take into, all the different variables, all the context, this stuff is impressive. This is impressive what Messi has done. I don't think there's any way to deny, the impressiveness of what he's doing. So I got another one here for you I want to actually look at. Messi is tied with Joseph Martinez for most goals scored for Inter Miami this season. Martinez has played 24 more matches than Messi. Again, you can say the competition isn't as good, but we're talking about a team that was bad. Bad. If you take, LeBron James basically and put him on like one of the worst teams in a league, will he get them to the championship? It's actually an interesting headline to me. It's actually an interesting conversation. It's an interesting topic. How many players who are the best at their sport, how many players who are the best at their sport, can you move them into another league, a less competitive league than the one they're in, that's just the best in the world, put them on a bad team, and they'll bring that team to the championship? I'm just curious what you guys think. How many players could do that? Like what percentage of, elite basketball players, elite soccer players, elite football players, how many of them can do this kind of thing? Do you think it's 1%, 5%, 10, 50%? What do you think? And if it's even easier, who are some of those players who could do that? Is it a LeBron James? Is someone like that? Is a, John Morant good enough to do that? Does it have to be a Tom Brady-like figure, or could it be a, Derek Carr type of player? Like how far down, does it go where that is, not as impressive to you, or more impressive to you because, the guy is that much, a top 15 quarterback in the NFL goes to a league less competitive and takes a bad team to the championship. Like what's the most interesting variable to you? I think football is a hard one because it's not really played in other countries as much. Basketball is easier. Soccer is easier, to have these kind of conversations. But let me know, drop some players in the comments who you think are, capable of doing that in terms of, carrying a whole team from being horrible to a league final team or a champion in that league. I'm curious what you guys think on that. Another one here. Messi doesn't like challenges is the quote, right? At 36, he went to a last place club, somehow carried it to a tournament final, somehow qualifying it for the CONCACAF Champions League. This might be Messi's greatest magic show ever. I think that's a fun way to put it, right? His greatest magic show ever. I like that. I like that tweet. That was a good tweet. So that's again, it's fascinating stuff. No matter how you slice it, it makes things interesting. It makes MLS soccer interesting. It makes soccer interesting. It makes Messi's career interesting. This stuff is fun. And the reason I get to all this is, will Messi doing this, coming to the US, playing in MLS soccer, seeing the hype that it's caused, seeing how quick he could turn around a team, seeing all the love he's getting, obviously the money's good, seeing all that it's good for his career, the stats look great. How many other players may consider this move because of Messi? We can't, we can't ignore that Messi's making his stats look good. It's making his career look better. His paycheck looks good. But there's something about that U.S. exposure that's also interesting, right? I mean, obviously soccer is the biggest sport in the world, and it's a sport that all other countries have, crazy fans over, right? So it doesn't matter where you play. There's different countries that, the fandom is different everywhere, of course. But when you come to the U.S., right, it's interesting. Let me share this picture, for instance. We have this picture here, and in this picture, you have Serena Williams, you have LeBron James, you have Kim Kardashian. Like, this is what's happening, right? This is what Messi is doing to Major League Soccer. Do you think these guys, these folks, these wonderful people were at Major League Soccer games before this? I don't know if they did it all, because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I didn't fact check it, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Tristan Thompson in there, Serena's husband. I mean, I highly doubt it. They're not the only ones who were there. There's plenty of other celebrities who have come through to see the Messi show. So, I mean, how much does that allure, pull? How much does Messi care about LeBron James, the greatest basketball player ever, arguably, come to watch him play? Serena Williams, arguably the greatest women's tennis player ever, or not even arguably for me. I mean, Kim Kardashian, I'm not going to put her in the same conversation as those two, but you get it. Huge celebrities, right? Like, what is it? How much does that matter? The money's good. The celebrity, the fame. I don't know. It's good for your stats. It's good for your career. Everything looks good. It's great attention. We'll see if the MLS is able to draw more of these kind of stars. If they'll be able to take these kind of players from the other leagues, maybe even earlier in their career. Who knows? We'll see. MLS soccer's had to get more money in it. It's going to have to keep, growing in exposure and in popularity in America. That just has to happen for this to happen more. But I think it's a great experiment. It's fun. People care about MLS soccer more than ever right now because of Messi. It's an interesting experiment. It's kind of like, I wonder if you could compare it to, obviously they're not on the same level talent-wise or impact-wise in their league necessarily, but like, Dwight Howard goes over to play in another country at the end of his career, right? Tears it up, does really well. I don't know if he won them a championship or anything, but similar kind of idea when NBA players go overseas to play towards the end of their career. I don't know if you can make the comparison, obviously, on Messi's level, but it's fun. And it seems like everyone's having fun with it. Like Messi fans, the fact that Messi fans are having fun with it says a lot, right? They're not, bored by it. They're not, boo-hooing it. Like they're having fun with it. At least some of them. So I think it's interesting. It's fun. But you guys let me know. Could someone like LeBron James, at the end of his career, like he's basically, I don't want to say he's at the end of his career now, but he, age-wise he is, goes to play in like China, for instance. They put him on the worst team in China. Would he get that team to an NBA, not to an NBA championship, but to a championship in China? Would that happen? Let me know in the comments what you think. Could a LeBron James do the same thing that Messi's doing right now for basketball in another country on the worst team in the league? Let me know.